Anyone confirm my voice? Is my voice audible now? Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Right. We'll jump into today's session. So our today's session is creating AWS account. And I request rest of all, please do not use any of the annotations. Not use any of the annotations. Right. In the last session, we have completed the last session we have completed about cloud computing and basics of cloud basics of cloud computing and deployment models, service models. We understood the infrastructure and we have seen various cloud service providers. So in today's section, we're going to discuss how to create an AWS account. Okay, fine. So as I told you, what all the prerequisites to create an AWS account? You want to drop a message. So to create an AWS account, we require Mastercard, a Visa card, credit debit, which is Master or Visa card. So that is mandatorily required. So as of now, I'm showing you how to open the Amazon account. Uh, okay, I'm so sorry. There is an audio breakage in between. Just give me a minute. I'll just refix it. Okay. But meanwhile, stay online. Just a small audio breakage here. Right. So anyone please confirm the voice. My voice clear now? Okay, clear. Thank you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the account by opening the Amazon page. To open the Amazon page, we have to use a website here, aws.amazon.com. aws.amazon. So this is the website which we have to visit. This is the website which we have to visit. So let us visit the same website on the same browser. Okay, so no issues. So I directly logged in. There is a small error. Thank you for correcting the me. Okay, it's https aws.amazon.com. Okay, so here you can see this is showing the first page where it is asking you to sign into the console. Sign into the console, or else you have an option here as create a free account. Create a free account, right? So let us see what all things available on this page first. So we have some products. So these are the list of products available, solutions, pricing, documentation. So listen, this documentation is very important for everyone. So I'll also show you now. Learn, partner work, AWS marketplace, customer enablement, events, explore more. There are something else to explore. So there are many options on this page, and you can see you can contact AWS people for any sort of information from them, and there is support center available for you, and you can change the language, and it is available in 8 different languages. Okay, and the final one is your account. Okay, so in your account you can see all this available options. Okay, so now we have something else here. There are something always free, and something 12 months free, and something prior. Okay, and here you don't create an account with me today, because today it is only my option, or my choice to show you the account. In after completing your Linux session, you start creating your AWS account, so that it will be beneficial for you, because the resources here are available only for 1 month. After 1 month, they'll be automatically deactivated. Means in the free account, it will be automatically deactivated. See, you can see here, there are some things which are available here for limited time. Right? All clear. So this is the website which you have to go to. Now let us sign into the console. So this is the page. Now you can see you got two user options here. One is root user, which is considered as an administrator, or if you are familiar with Linux, you can understand root is nothing but the administrator. Next we got IAM user. IAM. So IAM means it is not IAM. There is no space in between. Identity access management. So IAM user. So when you are logging in with your company's account, you are going to use this option called IAM user, because you can provide some restrictions there. The user cannot see the billing option. Right? So root user is the administrator who will see all these things. If you have created the account, you have to log in here somewhere, then you can log in. Now, but our concept is creating a new AWS account. So if you have any doubts, please drop in the chat box, then we'll do it. Create a new AWS account. So it is asking for some details. So we have to type all the required details, and we have to continue. You can see there are 5 steps in creating. So email address. So I'll give some random email address. I'm giving a password. In my company. So I gave details here. Next, it is asking which type of account you want. Do you want business account, or do you want personal account? It is asking us whether you want to use a professional account or you want a personal account. So my suggestion is for you to create a personal account, because we are practicing here, right? So when you go to a company, it is obviously business account because of their required. So provide personal account, and you provide here some your name. Next, provide your phone number. It to be mentioned here somewhere. It's always to be mentioned, and you have to provide your region, and then type some of your address, type your city, the postal code. Postal code is given here. Next, click on this and provide. Continue. So here it is asking you for the billing info. So you have to provide only two options. You got Visa card and you got Mastercard. If you are trying from other countries, you can use American Express and Discovery cards, but these are not available right now here with us. So we are mostly available with Visa cards as well as Mastercard. So you can use either of these. Okay. So but make sure if you are using a debit card, it should be internationally enabled. If you are using a debit card, it should be internationally enabled. It means your debit card should be valid for international payments. Okay. So by doing this, there will be a 2 rupees of deduction in Indian currency, and it will be again refunded back to your account. Right. So you can see here. We will not charge for usage below AWS free trial limits. We temporarily hold INR 2 as a pending transaction for 3 to 5 days to verify your identity. It means after 3 to 5 days, it is again refunded. So you have to provide all these details, and what all the address we have given is noted here, right? So here, if it is asking PAN, yes, you have to give the PAN. If it is asking for a mandatory, right? Instead, you can leave and you can jump into the next step. So in the next step, it asks you only to provide the OTP or any password which is redirecting to your Visa card or Mastercard. So it asks you all those things. That's a good question. How can we know whether it is an international or domestic? Okay, so Sudhir, it is with your net banking. If you have a net banking option, you can check it. Right? If you have net banking, you can check it on your site. Right? So yes, good question. From here, you can verify and continue. Okay. I already have an account, so I'm not going to forward. Yes, Prithvi, you are supposed to provide PAN details just in case if it is asking for mandatory things. See, from card details, it asks you PAN card. For few card details, it doesn't ask PAN card. And one more important thing, one card and one PAN number will be available only for 3 times for free account. If you want to use a free account, a PAN detail or card details will be allowed only 3 times maximum. That's why do not create account with me now. So firstly, let us see the practical on day one. Then you can start creating your account. First account can be created, right? And whenever you are providing PAN details, there is no loss because this is totally trusted thing, right? So as of now, I'm not going forward, but here after completing your process, verify and continue, right? So from there, you'll be logged into the portal. As of now, I'm not using it because I have my own details. So I'll be logging with my own account. Yes, you can see you can create multiple email address, but PAN ID is accessible only for 3 times. An email address is accessible only for 1 time, but PAN card details are accessible multiple times. That is maximum of 3 times. So here I'm logging into my account now. So I'd like to provide my details and I'll log in here. Yes, only personal account. So for any things, yes, everything is the card details or The payment details are same, either it is for personal account or business account. And yes, either Visa or MasterCard is always mandatory. Both business and personal account options are familiar. Yes, both are familiar, but if you are using a business account, then you can restrict I am user details. See, I am user doesn't have all the credentials. Same like your PC. Administrator has all the rights, but the other user, the standard user, will have only limited rights. Okay. So those limited rights are available only for I am user things. So which will be discussed further. As of now, I would like to show this page to you. Okay. All right. And Chandan, what should out? Are your account free? Uh, yes, it is a free account. 2 rupees amount will be deducted from your card, and yes, it will be refunded back to you. As soon as your identity is done, the 2 rupees amount will be refunded back to you. Right. So this is my AWS management console. Right. So let us see what all things are available here. On my AWS management console, look at here. This is my trainer account. That is your. So Krishna, if your debit card is not working, then don't worry. After the session, we'll definitely have a setup. Don't do it now. Don't do it now along with me. You just watch what I am doing, and then you can try doing it. It is very simple, just creating like a Google account. Okay, so here you can see on the same screen. Okay, no issues. We'll try after the session. Okay, here also we'll understand what all things available on the console page. So you can see list of services available here. All these are list of services which we'll see individually. Then we have cloud shell. So where you are going to operate this cloud using command prompt. Okay, I'll just click and show you how it looks. So I just open cloud shell, and you can see it is completely available with multiple options, pre-install tools, storage, saved files and settings. And it is completely, you can see it's completely command based. It's completely command based. And this uses Linux environment. In this cloud shell, it uses Linux environment. So there is nothing yet as of now, so it is not showing anything. But yes, we have to wait till the environment to start running. So as of now, we don't have anything, so I'm just closing it. Right. Next, we have a notifications column. So whenever we have any notifications, it will be mentioned. And this is my account, and you can see what is my organization, what is my service quotas, and what are my billing related things, my security credentials, and an option to sign up. Okay. And here these are the locations available. So as of now, I selected Asia Pacific, but you know, right, on the map I have shown you in India there are 3 locations. One is, what are the three Indian locations? Do anyone remember? 3 locations: Mumbai, Pune, and Chennai. Mumbai, Pune, and Chennai. These are the 3 locations available for us. Okay. So those are available in India. India. Okay. Right. Next, there is an option for support. So basic support option where you'll get all the information. Okay. So this is our AWS management control, and this is the recently visited services. So what all the services you recently visit will be mentioned here. In this account, it is only EC2, Elastic Computing Cloud, or Elastic Cloud Computing. Right. So next we'll see about services. So these are the services available in AWS. So we have understood about compute part. I have given a small example what we'll see on AWS. One is compute, in which EC2, Elastic Beanstalk. So I have given some examples for you. Right. Next, we got something called containers. We got something called storage, which we have already discussed about S3 and EFS. Next, we got database. Here also we discussed about RDS and DynamoDB. Basics. It means I just mentioned those names to you. And apart from that, we have an option called migration and transfer. We have also discussed about networking and content delivery, where we discussed about VPC, CloudFront, and Route 50G. Just about the basic things. And we got some developer tools. We got customer enablement. We got robotics, blockchain, satellite. Coming from top, IoT, analytics, and user complaints. So there are many things. So most probably there are 350 plus services available on this AWS console, right? So we are going to learn only administration part. So we are going to learn only till solution architect level. Okay. So I told you about identity, that is IAM, identity access management. So we are going to understand about more in this IAM. Okay. Right. Now, by default, AWS has given something to you, right? So to launch a virtual machine, it takes hardly 2 to 3 minutes with EC2. So to register a domain, it takes 3 minutes by using Route 53. You can also build a web app directly by using Elastic Beanstalk in just 5 to 6 minutes. So all these are by default available options. You can directly give a trial. Not just this, we have even more. So you have all these options, right? So if you are into some coding platform, if you are a developer, then all these options will be very much useful for you, right? But if you are working only as an administrator, only these two options are available for you: virtual machine launch and registration of a domain. Okay. Next, getting started with AWS. We can learn AWS here itself. We have an option to learn the fundamentals. You have an option to understand the AWS part, and you have an option to create some of your own infrastructure. Right? All these are available here. Apart from this, there is an option for it. Right? So that is it is documentation. You can see docs.aws.amazon.com where everything is provided for you. So guides and API reference. If for all the things, you'll get a guide. So let us take something like a web app initially. So I'd like to take Elastic Beanstalk. So you can see developer guide. Just clicking randomly, there is no pre-planned thing. Okay, so you can see how to get started. So getting started, everything is mentioned here very clearly. Creating an AWS account. So all these things are available for you. So you have to open this particular console. You have to select the regions. Everything is provided here. Okay. So after creating, you have to explore. So what to do after this? After this, you have to deploy a new version. All these are the commands. If you're going for I told you, hope you remember, if you're going for a web development. So all these things are available for web options. Tomcat is a web server which we have discussed there, and I guess you might have already know something about PHP, and most of the people, the .NET users also use web. So all these things are available here. See on docs.aws.amazon.com. So this is the place where we'll understand the nodes. Okay. So mostly for all the options or for all the services, there is some information. For everything, there is some information. So all the trainers on AWS learn things from this particular page. Okay. All the developers who are doing new projects or trying new projects, they'll also learn everything from here. Okay. So everything are available there. You can see there are some SDKs and toolkits available here. Okay. So I hope this still here everyone are clear. Let us see about our account, what all things available in our account. Right, so this is my account information, AWS regions. As of now, it is red in color because we did not select any AWS regions. No, you can directly, Santosh, you can directly open docs.aws.amazon.com to check what all things are available. Even without login, you can check what all things are available. So I am sharing it. I have shared a link. So I just provided some setup to you here. Okay, so we are back to AWS Management Console. I just show you something. I went into billing and here it shows recently visited services, billing, and next is the previous one is already available there, EC2. So this is your console page, major console page. Right now we'll go to any of the options. So firstly we'll go for Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2. Okay. So here on the very first page it is showing about a dashboard. Right. Welcome to the new EC2 console. So there is some new design available. Okay, it comes in the upcoming days. So no need to worry. So we did not add the billing page. I went into billing page by clicking on my account name. Here you can see my billing dashboard or my account. Okay. So I just selected my account or my billing dashboard, which will directly take me to that particular page. Okay. So this is my EC2 dashboard. So I have selected EC2 so I can see EC2 dashboard. Yes, you can see the same option even after creating it. Okay, so I don't want to get inside deeper, but yes, I'd like to show something to you. So there is some session already running here. So there are few instances running here. Instance is nothing but a machine which is running here on my device, on my AWS cloud. So I have two Linux machines with me right now, which are already installed. So in our upcoming sessions, we'll see how to create this instance. Okay. So as of now, I'm just showing this page to you, EC2 and events. There are no events as of now available here. An instance type. So templates, there are previous templates available with us. So you can see create launch template, everything is available here. So we'll discuss about all these things in EC2 session. Okay. Right, again, we are back to the page. So we are back to AWS Management Console. So I want everyone to create this only after completing the very first practical, right? Or else after creating the AWS EC2 machine, AWS EC2 machine, right? So next we'll jump into a concept called virtualization because in EC2 we have seen a virtual machines which are running with Linux operating system. So this is my EC2. I'd like to connect to this. See all these steps here available, details of this machine. So which is the operating system available here. Next, security, what we have to provide here. And the networking part, what we have to do here. So this is an IP address which is available. Storage option, status option, monitoring and tags. So all these things which we have to understand, we have to do one by one. I'm connecting to this session. So there are three options to open this. So right now I'm using instant web-based EC2 instance connect, which will directly take me to the PC. Okay, so this is my Linux server machine. So did I have something on this? So I use a Linux command. So there is a folder created by me that is demo folder. So for your purpose, I'll also create another account, another folder that is AWS. So I have created another folder that is AWS free, right? So if I want to remove directory, how to do? Anyone? Remove directory? So this is similar to our command prompt in Windows machines, but in Linux machines, it is very small thing. Perfect. So I guess most of your people are familiar with it. So I'm not going to do all these things now. So this will take much time for us. Okay. So RM, so that particular folder is removed. So this is the right command. So this is a recursive command. If you want to delete file, it will be deleted without recursive command. But if you are deleting without it, so we require it. Perfect. So everyone got to know about this. That is so good. So I'd like to turn off my instance immediately because so if I continue that, there will be a problem. There will be a billing problem if I continue using. Okay. So this is the part where we are going to create our Amazon AWS account, and after logging in, we're going to create EC2. It means firstly we are going to see how to create a virtual machine or how to create an instance. So firstly we'll understand what is EC2 on the very first session after Linux, tomorrow's Linux session. Then we'll understand about EC2. And after EC2, we'll jump into practical of creating an instance, something like this, and we'll understand some basic things. Of course, we'll see about EC2, we'll see about EBS, and we'll see about EFS, right? Then we'll understand about load balancing. So everything are here. So we'll go according to this, right? So we're going to according to this available list given by Amazon. We'll go somewhere in this according to the training option. So I am showing you AWS training and certification page, which is free of cost. You can see what all courses available here and what is the duration available here. What all the languages available you can see. Mostly will select in the English. Right? Apart from English, these are the available languages. These are list of modules available here. So all these things, right? If you want to learn, you have to sign into the portal and you have to get it with all these training practice. Right? So if you want to try this, yes, you can try this AWS training part and go into the sign in option. So this is also for limited time. So you can try there, but it is not recommended now. It will be recommended after completing your course because it will be a practice session or it will be something for reference for you. Okay. So this is about AWS console now. I'm just signing out of this console. I'm back to the login page. So this page will be opened even without logging to the console. Everything is available here. No need to worry. Alright. So next thing we're going to understand something about virtualization. So what is virtualization? So virtualization means creating creating logical machines on a physical infrastructure, right? Means implementing multiple logical machines on a physical machine. So this is what I would like to tell about this virtualization. Implementing multiple logical machines on a single physical machine. That is called as virtualization. Any examples for virtualization? I guess we discussed in the very first class. Yes, VMware. VMware is an example for virtualization. Any other examples? VMware to VirtualBox. Okay. Number three. Yes. Hyper-V. So yes, there are many other things like this. So VirtualBox is a client, or you can take the product. So in VMware, we call the machine as ESXi. It runs on ESXi platform. VirtualBox is thing which runs on a platform called Oracle. This is Oracle VirtualBox. So Hyper-V itself is a virtual machine. So we call it as Hyper-V. With Hyper-V. There's an option called Hyper-V. It runs with Hyper. Now my question is, on which platform does AWS work? AWS uses which sort of virtualization technique? Yes, AWS is a cloud platform, so we require a physical setup on which virtualization should be enabled. So according to your knowledge, or you can give a small guess about which virtualization technique is used by AWS. Okay, Santosh, you use all these things in your company. Okay, there is no much difference in corporate setup and cloud setup. As I mentioned to you, in corporate setup, there are capex and opex. But if you're going through cloud, so you're going to cut it. No, we are going to use which sort of virtualization. Okay, so I'll explain you. So AWS is a platform which uses can be run on both things. Okay, but as of now, AWS uses Zen hypervisor. AWS uses Zen hypervisor. You can also call it as Zen project hypervisor. Zen project hypervisor. Zen project hypervisor. So it is designed by a company called as Zen itself, and okay, I would like to use some jargon. Please understand, don't worry. Basic jargons. Okay. So Zen project is a hypervisor. Zen project is a hypervisor used or designed with the help of microkernels, designed with the help of microkernels, right? So it is a jargon for you. Don't worry, I'll explain you in depth while we are performing a practical. If you're performing practical, you'll understand that properly. Okay, and this is the one which is already used by, means Zen is already used by Verizon Cloud, OpenStack, and there are some other companies apart from AWS, right? If you want to know about this more, you can visit a website. Okay, I'm mentioning here. If you want to know more about this Zen, you can directly visit the website. Then so this is the website where you can log in and understand about Zen Project Hypervisor. Okay, so every time we don't call it as Zen Project Hypervisor, we generally call it as Zen Hypervisor, right? So yes, so this is the virtualization method used by AWS for running the cloud service provider. So every cloud service provider should use something or the other for providing this virtual availability. Okay, so in the same way, Azure uses completely Hyper-V. Azure uses completely Hyper-V. So in Azure, you can experience hypervisor, and most of Windows administrators are well known with this Hyper-V option. So you can easily understand Hyper-V, and you already know that in Windows machines we use PowerShell to create either virtual machines or to monitor virtual machines using hypervisor. Okay, right. So there are two different types of virtualization methods, which I'll explain you here now. Two different types. So firstly, I'll go with type 1. Okay, firstly I'll go with type 1, which is called as native or bare shell. Okay. Native or bare metal. Okay, so how it is available? Do some small annotations here. So let me draw a box. So this is my hard. Let us assume this is my hard. So this is my hardware, and on top of this, I would like to take this is my hypervisor. Right? So hardware on top of which I have a hypervisor, and with the help of this hypervisor, I'm going to create either a Windows machine or a Linux machine. So this is I have Linux. Again, I have another thing that is Windows machine. So you know, right? So Windows belongs to Microsoft, so I'm taking Windows. So hardware is connected to hypervisor directly, and with the help of hardware, hypervisor, you're going to create multiple virtual machines, that is logical VMs, either Linux or Windows. It means you can create multiple virtual machines. In type 1, in type 1 virtualization, what all the things you are providing, what all the input you are providing is directly going to hardware, and from hardware to it is coming to hypervisor, and it is sending back the request to the virtual machine. So just assume, for example, I am requesting something. or I want to install a software on this virtual machine. See, okay, this is MS Windows. Okay, this is Microsoft Windows. So on this Windows 10 machine, I want to install a software called Google Chrome. I want to install a software called Google Chrome. Now here in this session, everyone knows andarki telusu how to create a how to install Google Chrome browser, right? So when you are installing Google Chrome browser, definitely you require hardware support, right? So when you are trying to install some hardware software here, so the request will be directly sent to the hardware. Okay. So from the hardware, the request is first request is sent here. From this hardware, it is directly pushed to hypervisor. Now hypervisor will decide which request the request is sent by which machine, and from there it will directly forward the output. So this will happen in type 1 virtualization of cloud. So most of the companies or most of the cloud service providers use this type 1. Okay. So what happens within our company, we have to understand as well what happens within our company. Okay. So before going this, I'd like to explain the same concept in Telugu. Okay, local people please understand. Okay. So any cloud platform ఏదైనా కానివ్వండి. సో దాంట్లో ఏంటి అంటే వర్చువల్ మెషిన్ ద్వారానే మనం ఫిజికల్ హార్డ్వేర్ ని యాక్సెస్ చేయగలుగుతాం. ఓకే. సో దానికోసం ఏంటంటే మేజర్ గా ఫిజికల్ హార్డ్వేర్ అనేది మనకు మ్యాండేటరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఫిజికల్ హార్డ్వేర్ పైన మనం హైపర్వైజర్ ని సెటప్ చేస్తాం. ఫిజికల్ హార్డ్వేర్ పైన హైపర్వైజర్ ని సెటప్ చేస్తాం. ఆన్ టాప్ ఆఫ్ హైపర్వైజర్ మనం మళ్ళీ కావాల్సిన వర్చువల్ మెషిన్స్ బిల్డ్ చేసుకుంటూ వస్తాం. సో ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ని బిల్డ్ ఎలా చేస్తాం. ఓకే. ఇలా చేసినప్పుడు ఏ మిషన్ లోనైనా సరే ఏదన్నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, ఎనీథింగ్ ఏదన్నా పర్ఫార్మ్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారు, సో ఆ టాస్క్ కి రిక్వెస్ట్ డైరెక్ట్ గా హార్డ్వేర్ కి వెళ్తుంది, హార్డ్వేర్ నుంచి హైపర్వైజర్ కి వస్తుంది, హైపర్వైజర్ నుంచి డైరెక్ట్ గా మెషిన్ లో. సో ఏ మెషిన్ రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తే ఆ మెషిన్ కి హైపర్వైజర్ డైరెక్ట్ గా అవుట్పుట్ పంపిస్తుంది. ఓకే. సో ఇలాంటి ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ సెటప్ చేసి ఉంటారు ఎలా ఎనీ క్లౌడ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్. ఓకే. సో దీని వల్ల బెనిఫిట్ ఏంటి అని మీరు అడగవచ్చు. సో బిగ్గెస్ట్ బెనిఫిట్ ఏంటి అంటే ఇక్కడ హార్డ్వేర్ పనిచేసినంత వరకు సర్వీసెస్ కంటిన్యూస్ గా వస్తూనే ఉంటాయి. బికాస్ హార్డ్వేర్ లోనే మనం హైపర్వైజర్ ఎక్కాం. సో హైపర్వైజర్ లో ఫాల్ట్ అనే ఛాన్స్ రాదు కాబట్టి ఆల్ ది వర్చువల్ మెషిన్స్. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎంఎస్ విండోస్ వర్చువల్ మెషిన్ లో ఏదైనా ఫాల్ట్ వచ్చిందనుకో, జస్ట్ అస్యూమ్ ఇఫ్ దర్ ఇస్ ఎనీ ఫాల్ట్ ఇన్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ మెషిన్, ఓన్లీ దిస్ మెషిన్ విల్ స్టాప్ వర్కింగ్. ఈ ఒక్క మెషిన్ మాత్రమే ఆగిపోతుంది. హైపర్వైజర్ ఆగిపోదు, హార్డ్వేర్ ఆగిపోదు. Got it? So for example, లినక్స్ సర్వర్ లో సంథింగ్ ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది అనుకుందాం. సో ఓన్లీ ఈ యొక్క వర్చువల్ మెషిన్ ఆగిపోతుంది. రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ హార్డ్వేర్ విల్ కీప్ ఆన్ వర్కింగ్ అండ్ హైపర్వైజర్ విల్ కీప్ ఆన్ వర్కింగ్. సో ఇలాంటి సెటప్ ని మనం క్లౌడ్ లో పెడతాం. ఓకే. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ కమ్స్. సో ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ టు బి? ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్? సో నెక్స్ట్ కమ్స్ ఆర్ టైప్ 2. సో టైప్ 2 ఏంటో చూద్దాం. Let's see. So type 2 is something which is generally what's called our corporate level, or we can say it is inside premise within the company. We'll see this sort of thing within the company. So again, I would like to take all these things. So I have a server here. After server, I got an operating system. So hope most of you will understand this. So I got a server, then operating system, then I got hypervisor with me. Right? Then I got virtual machines. So here this time I'm writing it as only next, and here we got function videos. Right? So here it goes something like this: from server to operating system to hypervisor, hypervisor to Linux, and the next to Windows. Now you'll understand according to this availability at your present company. So we are using some sort of service called hosted service, in which there is a server which is built in our company, and on top of the server we are using an operating system. It might be any server operating system. On top of that server operating system, we are enabling or configuring hypervisor. We are enabling or configuring hypervisor. And on top of hypervisor, we are building virtual machines which are getting installed with Linux or Windows or the required operating system. Okay. So what happens here? So ilanti situation lo em avutundi. So within the company we are using the same thing, right? So what happens here? Let us see what happens here. So whenever you are sending a request, whenever you are sending a request to configure something, so the request will not directly jump back to the source. So the request will go to hardware. From hardware it will go to operating system, and from operating system it will go to hypervisor, and from hypervisor it will reach the destination. So this is step 4, step 3, this is step 2, and this is step 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So here the only thing is an operating system is installed on the server. So server paina operating system ni install chesaru. Install చేసిన ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ పైన హైపర్వైజర్ ని కాన్ఫిగర్ చేస్తారు. కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ హైపర్వైజర్ పైన వర్చువల్ మిషన్స్ చేస్తారు. అది లినక్స్ కానివ్వండి, విండోస్ కానివ్వండి, మల్టిపుల్ వర్చువల్ మిషన్స్ ఇలా చేస్తారు. సో ఇలా యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏదైనా ఇస్తే మన మెషిన్ నుంచి హార్డ్వేర్కి వెళ్తుంది, హార్డ్వేర్ నుంచి సర్వర్ లో ఉన్న ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ వెళ్తుంది, అక్కడి నుంచి హైపర్వైజర్ కి ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ వెళ్తుంది, అక్కడి నుంచి హైపర్వైజర్ మళ్ళీ ఏదైతే సోర్స్ ఫైల్ ఉంటుందో దానికి మళ్ళీ దాన్నే డెస్టినేషన్ లా చేసుకొని అవుట్పుట్ ని పంపిస్తారు. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ కాల్డ్ as హోస్టెడ్ సర్వీస్. సో ఇందులో ఒక మేజర్ ప్రాబ్లం ఎప్పుడైనా సరే జస్ట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఈస్ ఎనీ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇన్ దిస్ సర్వర్, ఈ సర్వర్ లో ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది. సో వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ if we get any problem in this server? So what happens when we get a problem in this operating system? So if we get any problem in this operating system, then hypervisor will not work properly and all the virtual machines will be stopped. If there is a fault in operating system, entire thing is gone. Yeah, even if you are using a secondary server, then also there will be a problem because the VMs are created on this particular hypervisor, on this particular physical server. Yes, the request won't get back to the destination. But in previous scenario, we have seen something like bare metal or native server. Right? In that type, there is no operating system in between. So if there is a problem in hardware, then everything is gone, wherever it is. But in second type, in hosted type, if there is a problem on the operating system of server, everything is gone. Right? So to avoid these sort of things, majorly this sort of things, we use type 1 in CSP, cloud service provider. Right? So what are the benefits if we are using type 1 in cloud service provider? Means the major benefit is there is no need of monitoring and there is no need of any human resource. There is no requirement of administrator to see the operating system, to check the operating system all the time. Right? So you are reducing the human load. We are reducing the human load, right? So that there is no monitoring option. We don't require any monitoring here because on the hardware we are directly configuring hypervisor, and on the hypervisor we are directly installing what all the virtual machine, what all the operating systems you require. Right. So now you understood one important question is, so what is the difference between type 1 virtualization and type 2 virtualization? Type 1 is native or bare metal. Type 2 is the hosted one, right? So type 1 is majorly used by all the cloud service providers because there is no operating system on the bare server. We configure directly hypervisor. So even if there are any problems on the operating system, server and hypervisor will manage them and provide continuous services to the virtual machines. If there is any problem with the virtual machine operating system, only that particular machine will be stopped. Okay. In type 2, yes, this is a concept we have to build within the companies. So within the companies, if we are building this, then there should be completely a monitoring service available on this, and there will be a human load on this. And yes, it is bit costly as well because you have to purchase operating system, you have to purchase multiple licenses, all these things you have to purchase again. So it is bit costly when compared to type 1, right? So type 1 is less cost when compared with type 2, and it is feasible. Next, it is very easy to set up and it is more secure to use. So which type of virtualization technique does Google company use? See, all the cloud service providers use type 1, not just one single company. All the cloud service providers use type 1 virtualization, right? Type 2 is majorly used in the early stages of virtualization part. And even now, if you want to perform the practical on your physical machine, we use type 2 because on our laptops or on PCs, we install Windows or Linux operating system. And on top of that, we again install either VMware software or we launch Hyper-V. On that, we again create operating systems or we can again install the operating systems. So these are basically used within the company, within the organization. Right. So clear everyone? Clear everyone? All right. So we'll go for a small quick review of what all we discussed in the session. So today in this session we discussed about we have to visit this particular site and we can create a account. So in this you are supposed to create a new AWS account, right? Where you have to provide personal details first. And next you have to provide the savings details. And as of now, please select personal account, right? So select personal account, right? And then you can launch, and then you can launch your account. So this is one thing which you have provided in this session. So if you want, you can just take a snap of this. If you are listening through mobile, you can take a screenshot. So after this, we understood something about virtualization, which we understood about type 1 and type 2 virtualization method, right? And we also understood that AWS uses Right. So this is what we have discussed in this session, right? So in tomorrow's session, we are going to understand about basic Linux commands. So again, I'm not going to show you how to install Linux operating system, but instead of that, there are many videos on YouTube which will be shared to your WhatsApp link. Okay, so in your WhatsApp group, a link will be posted regarding this Linux installation. Okay, so there are many videos, so I'll pick some random video for installation process and I'll forward in the group. Okay, right. So don't need to worry about this, but I'll show you the practical because I got Linux machine on my AWS, so I'll directly pick AWS and I'll directly show you the Linux commands in that AWS machine. Okay, so in AWS we don't call it as machine, we call it as instance. So Chandan has some things. Chandan, you can send if you have a video. So it's not install Ubuntu. We require a Linux server. So I require you to download or understand about CentOS. Yes, if you are using a Windows machine and if you want to learn how to install AWS, sorry, how to install Linux, I don't want you to install on your machine because again you require to configure VirtualBox or you require a VMware to install Linux operating system. If you are okay with VMware, then it is fine. Or else if you are okay with watching video, then you can watch video and after watching video, however in just 2 or 3 days we are going to create AWS account. So in that account we are going to will definitely create a Linux machine. So that will be more helpful for you. Yes, git bash. Yes, we are going to use the bash command. So no need to worry. We'll definitely get it. So, Balnadia, are you aware of this AWS? Or are you aware about this Git bash? Okay, nice. So no need to worry. So you're a DevOps person or you're into a development person. So fine. If anyone wants to speak, just let me know. I'll enable mic for you. Chandran, please go ahead.
Yes, sir, good evening. Yes, sir, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Chandran.
Yeah, sir, after installation of hypervisor on server machine, sir, how we are able to log in remotely, like on Amazon AWS, what we have already seen there many virtual machines, as you have created two virtual machines there, right, sir?
Yes, exactly.
So, my question is, sir, remotely, how we will be able to log in that machine? Like the server is already, Amazon AWS server is already residing somewhere in a state like Mumbai, you said there, right? So, and this time I am staying in another city. So, in that case, how we will be able to directly log in or to access that virtual machine, sir?
Okay. Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chandan, good question. So you're asking something like, so you are creating multiple virtual machines on AWS account, and it means, and you're traveling to some other location, and you want to access it from that particular location, right? You have to answer on chat box. Chandan, you have to answer on chat box because there is a disturbance on the voice, so I have to mute you back again. If you want to log in from different location, no need to worry, you can happily log in because the cloud itself says you can log in anywhere across the globe using internet connectivity, right? And your AWS is available across the globe. So from anywhere, even if you're logging from anywhere, yes, it is available. Okay. So how it is going to connect, how it will connect, or how it will be visible to you. You will understand when we create it, when we create a new instance or when we create a new virtual machine on AWS cloud, where you'll understand what is AWS network, means which IP address we use for this connectivity. You'll understand that, and location, yes, on which location you're going to save your virtual machine, that will be displayed to you, and how to monitor those, everything, and which storage place you are going to do it, that is also displayed to you. And you'll also see the scale set. You'll also see the scale set, because why? Because if you want to upgrade or if you want to degrade the hardware, all those available options will be displayed on scale. Okay? So there is much more to learn. So as of now, you have to understand that yes, we can connect to all the virtual machines anywhere across the globe with the help of internet. So yes, Bhargav, I'll show you. No need to worry. So everything is available. So two types of virtualization techniques are available, but all the cloud service platforms use only one single type, that is type 1. And the two types of virtualization techniques are available, but all the cloud service platforms use only type 1. So it means in cloud service provides or any of the AWS or Azure or any other things, we can we use only type 1. So no need of worrying that. So virtual machine will be available directly on the internet. Okay, so AWS account is a web-based account. So when you're accessing AWS account, then it means you're also able to access virtual machine. Okay, don't need to worry. It's fine. So yes, you have to wait till the practical comes. So don't worry. I'll show you once the practical comes. There are multiple ways to use the machines. So I'll show you two methods. One is from your machine and one is the web browser, which already we have seen. So I'll show you both of them, right? And there is some other person, something. Suresh. Okay, Suresh, a quick revise for everyone. So I want to create a AWS account. So I'm going to use, the website, or sorry, I'm going to log into aws.amazon.com. Sorry, there are some port numbers configured on my machine. That's the reason we could not log into that. Yes, by default. So aws.amazon.com, where you're going to use sign into the console or anything. Sign into the console. You're going to enter here, and here is the option: create a new AWS account. So click on create a new AWS account and follow with all these things. Provide all the information and follow the steps from here. It will be created. There is no big task here, but yes, what all things are provided should be given. So if it is asking for PAN details for mandatory, provide it. If it is not mandatory, don't need to provide. Hope everyone are clear till here. So in tomorrow's session, we are going to study about Linux. See, don't expect complete Linux here. We are going to learn only those commands which will be useful for our sessions. Okay. So basic commands like how to copy paste, how to create folder, how to navigate, all these things we are going to see, and how to install any of the packages or software according to us, and where all these things are located. Let's discuss all those things about Linux. Okay, I'm not going to show any of the installation part. We are going to see how only the working part. Only the working part will be seeing tomorrow. Alright. So there is no 11 a.m. batch. There is only one batch as of now, 5 p.m. And next 11 a.m. batch will start in next 10 days. That is 10th of July. So if anyone are missing these sessions, you can join back on 10th of July for listening to the sessions. Okay. Right. So as of now, in next 2 days, make your Visa or MasterCard ready so that you can create your own AWS account. So that is a free account. Okay. So if everything is clear, so we'll sign off as of now and we'll log in back tomorrow at 5 p.m. And you are supposed to use the same link for next coming sessions. The link is valid till 17th of this July. So you can continue using the same link. Our classes will be continued from Monday to Saturday. And if there is any change, the information will be provided on the board. So there is no change for 5 o'clock batch, but just in case if there is any possibility of, any sudden changes on Saturdays, so we'll inform you prior. Okay, there is no session on Sunday, and on Sundays I'll post you some quiz questions. A link will be posted to you. Provide all the information and complete the quiz. Every Sunday there will be a quiz provided to you. You can participate in that quiz. All right, clear? I hope it is clear for everyone. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye.